what misconceptions do you feel people slash society have about trauma or someone who has been through traumatic experiences?
I think definitely what I mentioned before, that every little discomfort is trauma. I is trauma, right? Or is a form of trauma. And I think that it has a lot to do with social media and the spreading of kind of misinformation or reinterpretations of information. Um, and I don't know, I feel like, I mean, I'm Gen X. I see the younger people kind of trying to latch on to some of these labels, like, ADHD and PTSD, and it's like, and it makes me feel a certain way because what real PTSD, people can't function with it. It's not like, oh, something makes you uncomfortable. Real trauma affects your everyday functioning unless you go through a process of healing it. So I think that the spread of misinformation about what it is. I just posted a video that explains gaslighting, what gaslighting is, because I feel like everybody now is saying, "Oh, if we I had an argument with my man, he was gaslighting me." And I'm like, that's what you experience is not gaslighting. This is gaslighting. So I think that that is one thing. That's a misconception, that not every uncomfortable situation that you are in is trauma.
From a medical standpoint, I get kids, like, 14-year-old, 16-year-old, oh, I'm PTSD'd from, football, I twist my ankle, or I have anxiety. I'm just getting these things where people that, and it comes to a funny story, like when me and my girlfriend had exactly the day we exactly decided to become official. You know, I'm a trained martial artist. She was grabbing one of these things and she dropped it. And I caught it. The blade went right through my hand and it cut me deep. And I'm just gushing down. She's freaking out. She's a nurse. I'm a nurse. And I'm just like, huh, we're going to need some towels. And she's doing all that. And I'm just giving her a medical. I'm like, you see that in the white meat there? That's the subcutaneous tissue. Right there, she has a pulse. I severed the ulnar artery, definitely. I'm not going to feel that ever again. And she's like, how are you so calm? And I go down about 2, 3 years back when I got mugged by two guys who tried to think I was an easy target. And I ended up getting stabbed and slashed over 50 times across my body. I still carry the scars. And one of them went across my throat. The only reason I really survived is because my dad always told me, keep a stick in your car. And I managed to pop my door open and I pushed one guy in the face with a ball peen hammer. And the other guy decided he didn't want anything after that. Cops on showed up and apparently, I don't remember the rest of that. I grabbed the guy and said, we ain't done yet, motherfucker. And then I woke up in the hospital. And I was telling Bert a little bit about this last night because I had to go back to relearning how to say words, and W words are very hard for me. And like, just like in my daily life, walking around the house with my girl, she'll see me just suddenly stop in the middle of the floor, and I'll just start touching my neck, and I'll be looking at my hands, and I see blood, and she assures me you're not bleeding,
Mm.
and I'm on a medication for that to help handle the anxiety, but it does not stop the triggers. And I really don't like using that term because the Zoomer generation hijacked it, and now everything they find offensive as a trigger, and I find that very disrespectful for people who've been through like sexual assault, and I'm not just saying that for your sake because I've been a victim of that in one area. I don't want to go there, and of veterans, and then the stolen valor because you have people who have had serious injuries I've had to patch up, and they had they'll be looking just fine, calm, peaceful, and everyone's like, yeah, he must be fine. I'm like, no, he just because he's calm and quiet, he can be having a whole scenario going in his head right now. And sometimes I hear things that aren't there. And, I live with someone and she has to be, she's an angel for her adjusting to it. And, not just because a lot of people, you got that, any kind of PTSD, you're too difficult. So yeah, the whole gaslighting thing or gassing people up and everyone just wanting to be labeled on some form of mental disability as an excuse for their actions.